Good evening and welcome to the Joint Committee Meeting, Business, Finance, Justice, Land, Natural Resources, and Cultural Preservation, December 14th, 2021, 6 o'clock p.m. Call this meeting to order. Invocation, Representative Robert Huff, would you please render that for us, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for everything you've given us in our lives, Lord. I pray that you guide us tonight and we make a good decision for the nation tonight, Lord. Just be with us tonight. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call by Legislative Clerk, Ms. April Lindsay.
Robert Huff.
Present.
William Lowe.
Here.
Patrick Freeman.
Here.
Adam Jones.
Here.
Travis Scott. Charles McHenry.
Here.
Joseph Hicks.
Here.
Darrell Proctor.
Here.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Present.
Chairman, you got 9 present and 1 absent.
9 present, 1 absent constitutes a quorum. All business conducted will be official. Down to our approval of minutes. Give the committees a few minutes to review, then I'll entertain a motion.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes with any changes necessary.
Motion to approve the minutes with any changes necessary by Representative Lowe. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Representative McHenry. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
William Lowe.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. The minutes for September 16, 2021 have been approved. Down to our order of business, TR 21-166, Tribal Resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation, authorizing the Principal Chief to execute an agreement between the Muskogee Creek Nation, DBA, Looped Square Meat Company, and Harley Holland Company. Sponsors Joseph Hicks.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to postpone indefinitely.
Motion's been made to postpone indefinitely.
Second.
Second by Representative Jones. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
William Lowe.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Adam Jones.
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. TR 21-166 has been postponed indefinitely. TR 21-167, Tribal Resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation, authorizing the Principal Chief to execute a First Amendment to revolving loan and security agreement with BOKF, NA DBA Bank of Oklahoma, and a revolving note with BOKF, NA DBA Bank of Oklahoma. Sponsors Joseph Hicks.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to postpone this one indefinitely.
Did you say postpone indefinitely?
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Hicks made a motion to postpone indefinitely. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Representative Jones. Discussion.
Can I ask the reason? I haven't heard.
Hello? Did you?
Discussing with Chief, and we want to have more time to. We're gonna bring up the first of the year to go through the budget and have more time with Jason Holby with the architect, and before we bring it to the full council.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Are you good, Mr. Huff? All right, thank you. Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Thomasini Hall Osborne,
Yes.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Adam Jones,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks. Oh, excuse me, Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Chairman got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. TR 21-167 has been postponed indefinitely. Down to other business. Do we have any other business?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to add NCA 21-159 to the agenda, please.
I can't hear you.
I'd like to make a motion to add NCA 21-159 to the agenda. Also NCA 21-163 and NCA 21-164 to the agenda.
We have a motion by Representative Hicks to add NCA 21-109, NCA 21-163, NCA 21-164 to the agenda.
Chair, that was NCA 21-159.
Excuse me, NCA 21-159. Thank you. Second by Representative Freeman. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Thomasini Hall Osborne,
Yes.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Adam Jones,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Chairman got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. These three NCAs will be added to the agenda. NCA 21-159, Law of the Muskogee Creek Nation, creating a new Chapter 10 entitled Muskogee Creek Nation Tribal Utility Authority and MCNCA Title 17 Economic Development. Sponsor is Joseph Hicks.
Chair, I make a motion for due pass.
Motion for a due pass by Representative Hicks. Do we have a second? Second by Representative Freeman. Discussion.
Chair, I'd like to refer to Ms. Tara Branson on this one, please.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, committee. I appreciate the committee taking up this issue at this late hour, and just wanted you to know that we've really been working on this project for 2.5 years. Some of you were here when we started the solar feasibility project, and then have been around when Baker Tilly did the feasibility project on the tribal utility and how we can leverage a tribal utility in the future. So we finally came up with the legislation. We've been working with the Attorney General's office. This has been through several revisions to make sure that we're being sensitive to our neighbors, to our partners, and we're prepared to take on this kind of responsibility. We're really coming to you today because it has become a little more urgent in the new year. We're planning on receiving federal funding for broadband development and grants, and we're hoping to leverage the tribal utility to be able to manage those projects and roll them out accordingly. We've applied for more than $50 million in funding to be able to build broadband infrastructure across the reservation, and the staff that is being included in this project would help oversee those funds and manage those grants. And as those grants come in the door, we hope to offset tribal funding so that we're not coming back year over year. This would be a self-funding project. We just need the initial kind of seed money to get started. I know in the next legislation we'll be discussing that The operating agreement, like I said, has been reviewed by the Attorney General. This has been an ongoing project, and while we're initially looking at broadband as some of their initial work, we've also been looking at electrification agreements so that we can save the nation costs over time by purchasing from the wholesale market or managing some of the master meters across the nation so that you can bulk purchase energy rather than paying meter fees and light fees and pole fees. So it's just really an entity that we can start to leverage for the nation so that we can save money in the long run and really prepare for those larger infrastructure projects that we're positioned to take on in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's really the development of the operating agreement, and it's been in the making for quite some time now. I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns that you might have.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions from the committees? Any council
Chairman Willow.
representatives?
Chairman Willow.
Go ahead, Mr. Lowe.
Terry, right now, if we were to apply for those in our current status, would we have to share those with the local authorities that oversee our utilities, the broadband grant, or we would just not be able to apply for it at all?
So the utility is really just a tool to protect that infrastructure long term. So we can apply for the grants as the tribal government, and in fact, we have applied as the tribal government. So this will remain an entity under the government, and we actually developed it that way so that in the future we can spin it off if it becomes self-sufficient, or if we choose to move into being a direct broadband provider, which we've kind of left the door open with our current partner who's been developing and doing the engineering work for us. We haven't decided whether or not that's in the best interest of the nation to be in a position to be providing in-home service, setting up modems, checking things, that kind of thing. So it just leaves the door open for us to be able to do that and creates a venue, a place for that to live long term.
Thank you. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Lowe. Thank you. Any more questions? Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Thomasine Hall Osborne,
Yes.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Adam Jones,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. NCA 21-159 passes. NCA 21-163, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of self-governance funds for the Muskogee Creek Nation Tribal Utility Authority for the benefit of the Office of the Secretary of the Nation of Commerce. Sponsor is Joseph Hicks.
Chair, make a motion to pass.
Motion for due pass,
Willow, second.
seconded by Representative Lowe. Discussion?
I believe we provided an object level budget to the committee. It's basically to fund one position, their cell phone, laptop, desk phone, kind of basic things to get that office started. There is a large cost in the contractual line, and we hope not to have to use all of that funding to be able to return that to the self-governance fund, but we did need it in order to continue to be competitive for existing federal funds that are available, both under the American Rescue Plan and we expect to come out under the Build Back Better plan, the new infrastructure bill that's coming out. We do need to engage in a little more substantive discussion to phase out some of the construction on the broadband side in partnership with some of our smaller communities. We're just going to need a little more support than what free money will buy at this point. Right now, we're kind of in a partnership where things are happening and we have an agreement, but there's not a lot of exchange right now. And so we just want to make sure we're positioned to be able to get into more detail so we can be more competitive as those iterative funding opportunities come out. So that's why there's quite a bit of money in that line item.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns?
Chairman, I have a question, please.
Go ahead, Representative Lowe.
Thank you, sir. Terry, was this salary listed here, was it a part of the HR analysis that they conducted for the tribal salaries?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of your
When
question.
they did the employee salary analysis, was this a part of that by
No,
chance?
no, sir, it was not. But we would be looking for someone uh, either has significant project management experience or who has done some electrical engineering work, so that they can support and manage the contractor
Okay.
related to the broadband project.
All right, thank you. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Lowe. More questions, concerns? Go ahead, Mr. Jennings.
I'm always looking for Creek citizens. We have identified a couple that are currently employed in Tulsa who have done what we call WISP work, or wireless internet service provider. They actually already operate that, and so we've been in discussions with them, but we haven't. They know the field very well. So I'm not sure we'd be able to recruit that specific person given their professional experience, but we would definitely be interested in hiring Creek employees. And all of my managers right now are Creek, so that would be my preference for sure. Huh?
Thank you. Any more questions? Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Thomasine Hill Osborne,
Yes.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Adam Jones,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Chairman, I got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. NCA 21-163 passes. NCA 21-164, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, funds from the United States for the Climate Resiliency Project at River Spirit Casino Resort. Sponsor is Patrick Freeman.
I'd like to make a motion for due pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Freeman,
Second.
second by Representative Jones. Discussion?
Got me.
Thank you, Chair. This is basically a grant application for the ARPA monies. In the last couple of months, we went through several edits, and it is really the essence of this. And Pat Croft is here; he can kind of elaborate a little bit more. Pat, you want to come down? This is basically just protecting the infrastructure for the existing site at River Spirit, and this is just to protect during the flood periods where we're taking steps in mitigation steps to provide necessary measures to protect what's there and not let the floodwaters contaminate the floodwaters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and appreciate being here to talk about this project. As Representative Freeman mentioned, this is a request for expenditure of ARPA funds for a plan that's been developed for flood mitigation and climate resiliency at the River Spirit. As we all remember, we had the big flood in 2019 as a result of the Corps of Engineers releasing water from upstream dams. In discussions with them, they have told us that they will do it again without question if the need comes up in the future. And so that put us on notice that we have to do something. And so we have been working with the nation's emergency management department, and this flood mitigation plan is incorporated in the newly released nation's emergency response plan. We've also been working with Lacey Horn, the nation's consultant, on the ARPA request to make sure that we've addressed all the eligibility and qualifications so that it does qualify for this funding. In addition to the protection from potential flood damage, the plan provides for water and sewer infrastructure to prevent water pollution in the Arkansas River in the case of future flooding. This infrastructure is what qualifies it to be properly used from the ARPA funds. The plan basically includes physical flood barriers such as berms, fixed and portable flood walls, removable barriers, excuse me, raising the head walls along the trail and along Fred Creek, as well as stop logs and bulkheads for the drives and the roadways. Other infrastructure improvements Includes storm drain backflow prevention gates and other measures such as floor drain plugs. Also includes emergency power generation and backflow prevention for our sanitary sewer lifts, stormwater pumping systems, subsurface dewatering systems, raising of critical electrical switches and feeds, sealing off electrical conduits, and additional emergency generation capacity. The estimated cost of these improvements is $9.879 million. We appreciate your consideration of this very important project because it could become, very costly in the future, and then we'd like to be able to take advantage of the ARPA funds that are currently available.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crofts. Any questions? Questions or concerns?
Chair Willow.
Go ahead, Mr. Lowe.
Hello, sir. Mr. Cross, did you ever have this, all these prices priced before the pandemic?
We started to, right after the flood, we started putting all this stuff together and getting the ideas together for flood walls and berms and stuff like that. And the pandemic came along and kind of put us back another year. So since then, as Mr. Freeman said, we've worked on it, and we've been working with our outside consultants and also the Corps of Engineers. So it finally came together.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I feel that the pandemic increase of all the materials are, kind of a significant matter. So I support this 100%. Mado, Chair.
Thank you. More questions? Roll call vote, please.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Thomasine Hall Osborne,
Yes.
William Lowe.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 8 in favor and 0 against.
8 in favor, 0 against. NCA 21-164 passes. Thank you, Mr. Croft.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Any other business? Down to announcements. Have any announcements? Anybody want to invite us to Christmas dinner? They said no. All right, down to our adjournment. I'd like to ask Representative Proctor to do our benediction, please. Thank you. Adjournment 6:22.